Now, more of Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute, the only show directly addressing the problems and solutions for Illinois. Now, from AM 560, here's Dan Proft.
Back on Illinois Rising, joining me this week is Cole Lauterbach, reporter for the Illinois News Network. And Cole, last week, the Illinois House voted in favor of a plan to provide property tax relief to some Illinois homeowners. And the question is how effective even relief for those some homeowners might be, because we've heard a lot about property tax freezes and all the wonderful things the Illinois General Assembly has done to freeze our property taxes over the last several decades, and yet property taxes keep going up precipitously. So I'm not sure how much credibility they have on this issue, but some homeowners being the operative phrase.
Yeah, well, actually, it's there's no home rule exemption for or it's exempted from home rule, meaning that anybody that is in Chicago, Naperville, Peoria, it's almost 8 million people.
Communities with more than 25,000 in population are automatically home rule.
Right.
So,
exactly.
as you're suggesting, 2/3 of the state.
Right. They're not going to see any benefits from this type of freeze. And also the other issue is you have with a suspected freeze in property taxes, a municipality, before it takes effect, well, we are going to have to save for the future. So we make our current levy as high as humanly possible, so that we will ensure savings.
Well, for more on games with respect to your property taxes, which is not a funny business, not a laughing matter, we're now joined by State Representative Mark Batnick, a freshman Republican from Plainfield, and somebody who, according to your colleague, Mark, Peter Breen, is developing a reputation in Springfield for being wildly frugal. He said that you either live near a landfill or in a landfill. I'm not sure which when you're down in Springfield.
Well, that's quite a compliment from Representative Breen, but yeah, there's a lot of opportunities to be frugal in this state, that's for sure.
There you go. Well, so you're very wonkish on these fiscal matters, and thank goodness you are. So tell us about the games and the competing legislation, the competing pieces of legislation on property tax freezes, and what Illinois families are to understand from what's happening in Springfield and how it will impact the property taxes they pay, highest in the nation at present.
Yeah, I think one of the issues with the property tax freeze, frankly, from my standpoint, is a freeze is not enough. If we're frozen for a while, it will probably be near the top for a long time to come. I think some of the biggest issues is that we put so many burdens on local governments with unfunded mandates and just our regulatory climate that it's hard for them to lower property taxes. If we did the things we needed to do, to make it easier for government to operate at the local level, we could lower property taxes. We could go well beyond a freeze. A freeze just frankly isn't enough. The problem with the bill that's passed is we're on high in Springfield just telling everybody to freeze taxes without giving them the tools to do it. And the tools are out there.
What kind of tools, Mark, are you talking about? Anything specifically, or are you just referring to removing a lot of the unfunded mandates that the state of Illinois' politicians say that we know better than you about running your own municipality?
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge part of it. I'll give you an example. They passed a bill to do same-day voter registration in every precinct throughout my county. Now, it was a very inefficient system. It cost our county $1.5 million to operate. I had a bill that if you want to keep same-day registration, fine. But what it did is it had a main office in every township. So instead of having a backup at certain precincts where people are registering and voting on the same day, where people who did things right and registered early had to wait in line because there was a backup, you just have set sites where people can print ballots faster. There's full-time employees. There's high-speed internet. And it's a more efficient way of accomplishing the same goal, and in my opinion, a better way. Hey, you're registering for the first time, here's the one centralized location you go to vote. That would have saved my county $1.5 million. There's things like this, one on top of the other, that make a big difference in our property taxes. So that's just one unfunded mandate that's recent, and it's near and dear to my heart because I came up with a bill to save some money. But you go into the pension issues and some of the other wage issues. There's a lot of issues out there.
Well, in addition, and it's one of the issues, something that Governor Rauner has talked about, which is consolidation of local units of government. That until you do something about the layers upon layers upon layers of government, most local units of government of any state in the nation, you really can't substantially reduce property taxes because you have so many taxing bodies that are taking a piece.
Yeah, that's certainly a big part of it, too. Yeah, no doubt. That was on the consolidation committee, so we had a parade of people that came before us. And, it's amazing because almost everybody, I should say, not everybody, so many people are in charge of these 7,000 taxing bodies think that the state couldn't operate without them, yet every other state in the nation does, including ones that are bigger. So the layers of government makes a big difference, too, and we do need to make consolidation each year.
Mark, and you talk about consolidation, and there's efforts for consolidation right now in a lot of these places. Me as a property, as a homeowner, I look at my property tax bill and I see 8, 9, 10. I think I had 11 taxing authorities on my property tax bill just this last year round. And a lot of people don't even know what these are, what they do, or what service they give us. Do you think that there's a disconnect between me, Joe property owner, and the fact that there are so many levels of government that are just taking a piece and it's just a death by a thousand cuts?
Oh, absolutely. Here's something that I talk about. People talk about voter apathy. In this state, I think it's voter exhaustion. How do you keep track? I once made a list of a calendar of every board meeting I was supposed to go to over the course of a month to keep on top of all these taxing bodies that you refer to. And the problem is so many of them operate in the dark that they're able to do things and spend money, and you just can't keep track of it. And it's not that you're not a good citizen; it's that how does somebody have the time to have a family and spend 15, 20 evenings a week going to 2 to 3 hour board meetings on spending of your property tax bill? It really is a big issue that there's so much to take, that there's so many levels to take care of. So much of it just gets operated in the dark, and things happen. And you're like, well, how did this happen? Why wasn't anybody paying attention? Well, we were paying our attention to our family and, the other 3 or 4 main property items that are on our tax bill. So the layers of government certainly make a big difference. It makes it harder for the citizens to, hold their elected officials accountable.
All right. State Representative Mark Batnick, Republican freshman from Plainfield. Mark, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate being on. Thanks. Bye-bye.